Yeehaw. Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. How's it going? What's up? Hello. What it do, what it do? Yeah, it's funny. I came out here to start one of these because it looked like the hard rain had stopped and that it was just gonna sprinkle for a while, and then like I shit you not, as soon as I started setting this up, and now it's raining like fucking crazy again. I may have to I don't know. I may have to move this procession inside, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Is it bad that you hate your birthday? No. Why would that be necessarily a bad thing? Just like the fact that it happened pisses me off. That's pretty edgy. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You're my source for life advice. Should I stay in my current house or move back to my mom's? I would not use me as a source of advice, especially based on that. Like, I don't know your situation, man. Individual. You know? I don't know your particular individual situation, and so I cannot comment. I cannot comment. How do I see private Highdeologies if I'm a patron? Will they be on Patreon or YouTube? So what happens when I do a private Highdeology is I will post a link to the stream way before it starts on Patreon, so you'll get that. And I usually post another post there to let people know it's going live as well. So you get those two, and then afterwards it stays up. So if you don't make it live, you can watch it afterwards. You have to ban yourself now because you mentioned the manatee. I did not. I said 3 completely acceptable words: particular, individual, and situation. There's a frog. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there's a frog. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Dude, I used to always find her in Spain, which makes sense. You know what I mean? I used to play that game, man. There was a game. It was an old game. And, yeah, she used to turn up in Spain a lot, man. Who do you not want to die next episode? You talking about Game of Thrones? Who do I not want to die? No, everybody's on the chopping block. I want everybody to die, honestly. I'm a Game of Thrones person, you know. I like having characters built up and then having their heads chopped off, you know, like they did with Robb Stark. Yeah, make out Robb Stark like he's gonna be like the King in the North, a big, you know, giant character for the rest of the books, one of the protagonists, and then they just, you know, rip him to pieces. Yeah, she liked like the it seems like she liked the Latino countries, you know, and Spain. Because I remember finding her a lot in like Mexico and South America and shit too. She was never in America, dude. Carmen Sandiego never ended up somewhere in America. Like, hardly ever. I guess she just knew better, you know. There is a materialist case for reincarnation. The consciousness is an emanation of physical arrangements. Matter has infinite amount of time to find its way back together again. Life is inevitable. El Mariachi, you are speaking about a mile over my head, my friend. You're going to have to take that down to the philosopher down the street, because that one... Zoom. They all gonna die, and I like the theory that Littlefinger ain't dead. He just chilling with the faceless men and gonna rule from the Iron Bank. What happens when all things die at the atomic level? You're talking about like the end result of entropy is just endless, cold, black nothingness where nothing ever happens forever. That's the end. That's the future we're all marching towards. Pretty awesome, in my opinion. Hey, Paul, how you doing? You get a taste of it, by the way. You get a taste of that inky black nothingness where nothing ever happens forever when you die. That's kind of a beautiful thing, right? Because eventually there won't be anything around to experience it. And by the time that the universe reaches that state of entropy, where the last tiny bits of matter, the last atoms are radiating the last bits of energy out of them that they have, and they're disappearing. By that time, there will have for trillions of years been nothing that a sentient life form can feed off of, energy-wise. So there'll be nobody around to see it, but we as conscious beings get to see it. We get to see it. Well, not necessarily see it, but we get to experience it in our final moments. Now that's cool. I like that. Galaxies move away from each other. The atomic forces will fall away like the gravitational ones. I mean, everything on a long enough time scale ceases to exist. Probably don't understand entropy, but how does energy or matter get destroyed? I thought it was impossible. There's a really good video that you can watch, and once again, all of this stuff is based on our best scientific guesses at the time, right? As of now. So we may find out that entropy does not exist and that something like the big crunch happens and it's a constant cycle of death and rebirth. But the strong current, if you want to look at it, if you look up like a timeline of the end of the universe on YouTube, it's a really long video, but it's worth watching. It's like a documentary that was made. Yeah, Coolman will find it for you guys. And it'll explain to you how even black holes, which are thought to not allow anything in their purview to escape them, radiate energy in the form of Hawking radiation, which means that on a very incredibly long time scale, they too will lose enough mass to cease to exist. Yeah, it's 30 minutes. Yeah, Coolman is spamming it in the chat for you guys right now, those of you that are interested in this topic. It's a really cool video. It's filled with quotes from actual astrophysicists and theoretical physicists and scientists. And it's a very detailed examination of our best guess at what not what we all, but what everything has in store for it. Very interesting. Freebird is greater than Johnny Be Good. I mean, I probably like Freebird better than that song. Paul, can you help me with my truck problems? My old ignition switch doesn't connect to the new wiring harness. Should I just get a new steering column? Sounds like it, Carmelo. The total energy has to be maintained, but the universe is expanding, relatively speaking, faster than light via dark energy. The static energy of the space-time fabric can explain where the energy goes. Well, not only that, but dark matter itself is related to how energy is eventually annihilated and succumbs to entropy. And we don't even really fully understand the nature of dark matter yet. After enough time, when the universe is nothing, like you said, the conditions would be similar as before the Big Bang, so why wouldn't there just be another one? Well, I can't answer that with any authority, but I think if you watch that video that we were talking about and look into it yourself, you'll find the answer to that. From what I understand, the Big Bang required all matter to be condensed to an infinitely small, hot, dense point. And then it exploded from there. The end of the universe as entropy, as it's explained by strong current theories in science, there is no matter left. All matter has slowly but surely been eaten away by the forces of entropy over uncountable trillions of years. And at the end, what you're left with is eternal black homeostasis, where everything is the same cold temperature. And literally, there are not two particles to bump together anywhere in the universe. It's all gone. All photons are, gone. There's no light, there's no heat, there's no energy, there's no matter. Just eternal dark blackness. Not exactly the conditions for a Big Bang as I understand the Big Bang. You ever get bored of your live stream starting off with dribble, descending into an hour-long ramble about mental health or the cosmos, then shifting to pop culture around the point of TJ waking up? No, not really. If you do, though, I can escort you the fuck out of here if you'd like. I can give you the bum's rush. Do you enjoy the work of Brendan Fraser? He was okay in The Mummy, the first Mummy. Those kind of descended into silly stupidness, but in that first one, he was all right. Airheads. Yeah, he was okay in Airheads, too. And he was okay in Encino Man. There you go. He was not good in Bewitched. Get out of here. Carmelo, I'm about to ban you. I'm on the cusp. I'm standing in the middle of the teeter-totter, and I'm about to shift my weight over to the ban side. You feel me? Feel me, Carmelo? Gotta get crazy with people sometimes. You can't. You gotta let people know. How was that gut buster? It's a belly buster. It was good, man. The food. I've talked a lot about the food over there. It's really good. I'm not gonna descend into talking about the meetup again, unless there's a topic which I haven't covered. Oh, I'll show you guys this. This is kind of meetup related. This is my new shirt from my friend Peyton Bidwell, dude. Thanos was right. He was indeed. Pretty much every shirt that you guys see me wear now is gonna be a Peyton Bidwell shirt. He bought me like 10 shirts and brought him to the meetup. That dude was a bro of bros. I meant to shout him out on the Heaven episode because he helped me with the research. Like, he heard me bitching as he gave us a ride home as we were all too drunk. And he was sober. Dude, that guy was a bro. Shout outs to Peyton Bidwell. I'm going to shout him out on the next Monday show. 2 black men in a lull kidnapped a fat little ball. He cried and pled and then fled. Story of a victim named Paul. Damn. That's dark. I appreciate your willingness to go dark with it, but there was a lot of meter problems there. A lot of meter problems in that. Are you afraid of death, Paul? I personally am. It's terrifying me to know that death is the end of my consciousness and that I won't see how the world will turn out. It keeps me up at night. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that, like, the idea of dying isn't scary to me. It's just not something that I spend a whole lot of time wringing my hands about, you know what I mean? It's going to happen one of these days, sooner or later, I don't know. And really, like, because here's the thing, I had an experience, and I won't call it like a near-death experience, although maybe that's what it was. I had like, the doctors call it syncope, when you lose consciousness. And I had recently started on a blood pressure medication that had lowered, I guess, my blood pressure and heart rate to the point that I stood up off of the couch really quick to walk into my kitchen. This was back when I was married and living in California. I stood up off of my couch real quick and I strolled into the kitchen, and I got to the counter where whatever it was I wanted to grab was, and all of a sudden I had time enough to go, like I made some noise, and then I was just gone. Like I just, boom. hit the ground like a sack of potatoes. And I was like, when I say I was gone, I mean like there was a genuine sense of myself diminishing. It was like, at first it was really scary because I could feel my body shutting down, or whatever, you know, that feeling is when it's like you're the you know what I mean? The fucking, I don't know if you've ever passed out, but the edges of your vision start to get black, and you start to just like lose the ability to move, and you get a second of like, oh, like reaction to it. But then I just hit the ground. I don't even remember hitting the ground. I was out. I was gone. And where I went to was nowhere. It was, I just remember this, my sense of self dissipating into just black, just endless night, just total darkness, total silence. And it was almost like I was gone already. And then I woke up, my ex-wife was there with me. Oh, what the fuck happened? And it's like, holy shit. Now, I'm not saying that it was like, I didn't wake up with this like religious feeling about me. But what I did wake up with was a feeling like I had tasted the void a little bit. Like I know kind of, like maybe I have a slight bit of insight into what being dead is like. And I'm telling you, dude, it was not fucking scary. It was not scary. It was scary at first, and then it was actually nice. So take that for what it's worth, man. I don't know. People that have passed out can probably, you know, back me up on this. Were the roads made of, yeah, the roads are made of silver, and the buildings were made of gold. And Jesus was there, and he's always lifting weights. And when you try and talk to Jesus, he just smiles at you, and he just keeps pumping iron. You blacked out because your blood pressure? I blacked out because the medication that I had just recently been put on for my blood pressure lowered my blood pressure too much. And when I stood up, like anytime that you move from like a sitting resting position to standing, your body has to like zoom, 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 you know, like recalibrate your blood pressure. And mine had gotten so low on the medication that when I stood up, it wasn't able to keep up. It was like not enough pressure to get blood to brain, and it just I fell over. Once there was a man named Scotty who hated to use the potty. He pissed and moaned and shit and groaned till life turned monotone. Get out of here. Boo. That's an F- limerick right there, man. F-. You started with there once was a man named, which is already like, if you're going to do that, everything else better be great. Yeah, in this case, I didn't have time to slowly lower myself to the ground. I literally was standing. I remember my vision closing in. I remember bracing myself against the counter and making a noise, and then that was it. I don't remember falling. I don't remember hitting the ground. I don't remember my ex-wife running in and trying to shake me and shit. It was lights out. Lights out for Paul's ego. Want some gender dysphoria? Sure. Hook me up with it. That is one thing I can never credibly claim to have experienced. So yeah, dude, I'll try a little gender dysphoria. Put it on for a try. Paul won't give me life advice. He thinks I should just eat mice. He sits in the rain, counts in his brain, and eats gumbo with rice. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. I know exactly what you're talking about. I had done bad Molly and was in the kitchen. I don't know. I don't know if it was the same as your Molly experience, bro. There was no Molly involved in mine. I've got plenty. Want to come by and pick it up? Sure. Fair enough. Weak, sad, and low energy. Jesus. So, dude, I heard through the grapevine, and dude, I don't know if I'm even supposed to be sharing this information, but I'm going to share it anyway. But I heard through the grapevine that Jay Darky and Marshall Manson. Dude, as soon as I said Jay Darky, I'm telling you, man, he's the Antichrist. Jay Darky's coming to New Orleans with Marshall Manson. I might be wrong about this, but I heard it through the grapevine. Now, I know why Jay Darky's coming. Jay Darky is coming to worship at the altar of TJ. But me and Marshall Manson, we might be able to go out on the town, get into some trouble. I wouldn't want to try and tear Jay Darky's suction cupped lips from TJ's ass. But I might be able to pull Marshall away. Go out like a couple of men. Get some drinks. Go fucking crazy. Paint the town red with the blood of the innocent. What? I think that last one probably should have remained an internal thought. We'll be in town for a few hours? A few hours? A few hours? There once was a man named Paul. He was gay. That's a wrench. Just enough to give TJ a mighty suck. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is... Oh, my God. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Hide it. Boo. Whatever, man. Espacito. My life is soon to be finito. I am a pot of saltito. Despacito. America is finito. We're all a bunch of fatitos. Oh my God, man. Would you have Jude Law play you in a movie about your life? No. There is no way, like, I would have to get somebody like Jonah Hill or something, you know? Because, like, me being fat, I gotta be honest with you, dude. A lot of you skinnies out there, your life may not be defined by your skinniness. But I'm telling you, man. My life... Jesus Christ. Yeah. I think it's got to be a fatty. I had to get a fatty. You wouldn't be able to... You know, you wouldn't be able to properly portray the pleasure and the pain that was growing up Paul's ego without a fatty. It has to be a fatty. And I'm not even saying it was all bad. There's some upsides to being fat. There are some upsides to being fat, ladies and gentlemen. And fatties don't... Like, I probably shouldn't talk about them, honestly. I probably shouldn't talk about them because fatties don't like sharing this type of stuff. But there are some upsides, man. There's some upsides. A lot of downsides too. Like, number one, there's a whole subset of chicks that are into fat guys. So if you're a fat guy that thinks you can't get laid because you're fat, you're just wrong. Like, there's a whole gaggle of chicks and dudes that are into tubbies. You know what I mean? And that's like, I'm telling you, man, thank goodness for that. And also, you know what? There's like a level of expectation that's put upon people that isn't really there for fatties. Like, we're allowed to be sillier than normal people because we're looked at as sillier. You know? A fatty waddling down the street, you know, that's just inherently funny. So we're not taken as seriously as everybody else, and you might think that that's like a downside, but it isn't. It isn't. It's actually an upside. It allows you to get away with things. It allows you to subvert expectations socially. It allows you to be wacky and different, and people give you more leeway for it. Yeah, that's a positive. Makes biological sense as to why people would be into bigger guys. Girls in ancient times being fat was shown to have a lot of money since they had money. Well, yeah. Or even before money, somebody that was fat was providing for themselves really well, right? They were eating well. There's got to be a biological imperative there that fatness is pretty hot, you know? Because even before there was like a system of barter or, you know, a reliable trade, and the concept of somebody being rich really hadn't taken form in human society. There were still, you know, dudes that were able to get more meat, you know? And you look at that as a woman and you see a dude that's got all that food and you think, man, he's going to be a great provider for my brood of children, which is my biological imperative, you know? And the fat dude looks over at the hot chick giving him the eye from behind the roast pig, and he's like, that chick right there looks like a good fertile ground for my seed. And then the great human opera just keeps going on, man. See, I'm like, when it comes to like type, I'm all over the fucking place, dude. I'm just all over the map, man. I'm attracted to pretty much every type of woman, and maybe a narrower subtype of men. But I like it all. I like it all. Always like dad bods. Yeah, see? See? Can I turn the brightness down on my end? I mean, I can try. I'm a little washed out, huh? It's really weird because it's dark. I mean, it's raining and shit out here. Let me see what I can do. That's a little better. Could do like that. That's a little better. Oh, yeah. That adds all the little weird movie grain stuff, too. It makes it look like I'm in the 40s. Can I feed you and comb your beard? Sure. Come on down. Come on down. Do you have any fat heroes from comic or mythology? Fat heroes? There's some good fatties in comics. They're usually not heroes, though. Like, Marvel's got the Blob, who I like a lot. He's a big old tubby. Nothing moves the Blob. Does DC really have a fatty? I guess the Penguin. Penguin's a big old tubbo. He's kind of short, but he's still tubbo, you know. But there's not really a whole lot of like fatties in that genre. They just don't. You don't see a lot. Like there's not a single fat superhero that I can think of. Is there one that I'm missing? You know what I mean? I guess fatties don't have you know, heroes' hearts. Too clogged with cholesterol. Despacito. Most are pretty obscure, like Butterball. Yeah, I don't really count the obscure ones. Ball Boy. Oh man, that sounds terrible. Yeah, Kingpin's a villain. Yeah. Lex Luthor. I could see a fatty Lex Luthor maybe if it was done right. But I think he's also good as not a fatty too. So I don't think his character's really served either way. Like I want like a genuine fat superhero. You know what I mean? Maybe he's like my little dude. See, that's what I was thinking of when we made our intro for Deep Fat Fried. We all got to kind of come up with our own little concepts for our characters, and of course, both of the other guys made themselves look like ripped ass, muscly dudes, and I was like, nah. You know what? I want to be like the support guy. I want to have like a battle ball, and that would be cool for like a fat superhero, you know? Like a fat guy that overcomes the obvious physical limitation of being a fatty by building the battle ball, you know? He gets in that, and he's able to fucking, you know, go and help people in it and shit. So I wanted to make sure I was fat in that intro. I was like, no. There's got to be a way to make that cool too. And maybe it's not cool, but I think it's cool. It's cool to me. If you had the powers from the movie Jumper, what would you use them to do? I don't even honestly really remember what I know that he could move. Or was that all his powers? He could just be anywhere he wanted or whatever. I don't know. Paul, name one movie after 2000 that you can call iconic in a way 80s movies are. Back to the Future or Terminator or Rocky. So after 2000, okay, was The Return of the King released after 2000? I think it was. I might be wrong. Was that 98 or 99? I can't remember. I think that the Blade Runner 2049 movie will be looked back on way more fondly than it was treated at the movie theaters, and will be looked on in that kind of classic way. It certainly fits the bill. So yeah, 2003. So yeah, The Return of the King definitely would fall in that category for me. And if it was 2003, then probably the entire fucking Lord of the Rings series would almost fit. I think that the first one came out in 99, but I might be wrong about that. No, it was 2000 or 2001. So yeah, they all fit. Yeah, those are the ones that, I mean, just jump straight out. Logan, yeah, I could see that. I could see Logan being looked back on as kind of a classic of that era. The Dark Knight. A lot of these the earlier superhero films that were good will probably be looked on pretty fondly. Let me think, man. There's some others. There's some in the horror genre that I think are going to be remembered really well. The Babadook, I think, is a good example of that, you know, kind of earlier, mid-2000s, the first decade of the 2000s. Some more recent horror movies that I think will be remembered way fondly. Hereditary, I think, will be kind of attain that horror cult classic status. Baby Driver, another good example of like an action flick that I think that people will look back on super fondly. Fury Road, yes. Yes, another good example. Deader. Yeah, Hellraiser Deader, dude. Yeah, I like it. So it's why like people that there's this contingent of people that I used to be part of. I'm not gonna sit and say that I've always had this perspective. I used to be part of them that thought that like, oh man, movies suck now, music sucks now, TV shows and series they suck now, and it's just wrong. Sorry, dude. I had that cynical perspective for a number of years in my life, and all it did was make me miss a lot of really great films, miss out on a lot of really great music. Yeah, I don't like, and it's a pretty popular place for people. There's a lot of like film buffs and film snobs that stick their nose in the air and say that movies stopped being good around the 90s, The late 90s were the last time that Hollywood was churning out anything that was good, and all movies suck now, but we just listed off a ton of just absolutely fundamentally classic movies that have happened after that genre, and they continue to happen. These great movies just continue to come, so I can't maintain that anymore. Good movies are still being made, good music is still being made, good TV series and serial content is still being made. You just got to look for it, just like you've always had to look for it. Dude, I lived in the 80s, man, and let me tell you, for every great movie that people remember from the 80s, there was dog shit. There were like 25 dog shit films. I'm not even joking, man. It's not like the 80s were just like this gym of they couldn't do any wrong. Dude, I watched a ton of movies in the 80s. I was a kid that was just I was a film nut as a kid, even more so than I am now. And I watched so many bad films, so much dog shit. So it's always been the same. It's the same as it ever was. Yeah, there's a lot of crap movies being made now. That's always been the case, man. I honestly enjoyed Marshall Manson's cover of the Manatee's Father. To be honest, it's because it's good. Like the whole thing about the Manatee's Father shit was like there was something that was a catchy tune. That was catchy. It's like that's Brett Keane in a nutshell. He probably, if he was willing to get up off of his belly and actually put some work into it, could have made some cool music. He might have even made money doing it. Father, say what you want about the content of it. The groove is decent. It's decent. And Marshall Manson was just able to put some actual like care and talent behind it. And it sounds pretty cool. You know? That's always been the enigma of the manatee and I think what keeps a lot of people coming back to him is they can sense a spark of possibility in him. Like you can see in the manatee a man that could have walked a different path and maybe, been intelligent or funny or talented or all three of those things, you know. But just didn't walk that path, man. Just didn't go down that road. I would like to hear. Let's get off the. I'm reinstituting the Banatee fucking principle now. All right, we delved a little bit into something that's tangentially manatee related. Now everything in the fucking chat is about that. Let's just not. Let's get over it. Could we make a movie about Paul the Ball going to space, saving the human race by transpermia? Sure. Go ahead, make it. You have my blessing. Ever thought about doing a DFF on old YouTube versus current YouTube? Maybe, but it'd be such a hard one to do because so much of like how old YouTube functioned and looked has been lost. I mean, there are screenshots of it out there, but like really not being able to like navigate it and show people how it was, and I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those episodes that I think could be pretty bad if because it could descend into just like things that are nostalgic for us but that have no meaning for anybody else really. Ever thought of doing a DFF on silence and it's just 2 hours of a blank screen? Yeah, dude. There you go. Our best episode to date. Bum 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 bum. What are some modern games that will be iconic in the future? The Dark Souls franchise will be played forever. It'll be one of those games that like 20 years from now, people will go back and be like, man, this is one of the hardest, most ball-busting classic games of all time. Watch me play through the game we've all heard of, the game we've all avoided, the true hardest game of all time, the classic Dark Souls. Yeah. Definitely people will remember Dark Souls. They'll remember like some of the modern Nintendo reinterpretations of Mario, which have, you know, the slow supplantment of old 8-bit, 2D side-scroller Mario with the new 3D representation of Mario is almost totally complete anyway. So the modern Mario games will be looked on as classics. Red Dead Redemption and its sequel will probably be, looked on as a classic example of this genre, this era of gaming. It's hard to tell which ones will survive the test of time and which ones will just be kind of slowly but surely forgotten by most people. What app makes your stream look noir? The YouTube app. I said the holy YouTube word. My Ancestry DNA results were different on 2 different companies. Are they fake? I think you're full of shit. Dwarf Fortress is releasing on Steam. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I was never able to get into Dwarf Fortress. Will you ever dye your beard? No. What color? None. These are leopard frogs. I love when these guys pipe up when I'm doing one of these, because I think of them as you. Re. Yeah, see, they're taking a little break now, but then, like, one of them will pipe up, and they'll start doing it again. Re. Oh, that's some lightning. Get ready for the thunder. 5, 6, about 6 miles away. It's pouring bad there, yeah. It's coming down pretty fucking heavy where I'm at, too. Paul gets hit by lightning would be a cool stream. Fuck you. I hope you get hit by lightning. How do you like that? Paul won't read a limerick, so nobody give him the Heimlich. If he were to choke, they'd let him croak. Then his body they'd lick. Nope. Nope. Wrong. At that point, Paul realizes he is in fact a son of Zeus and awakens to his new powers. That would be dope. Oh man, dude, if I got hit by lightning and I woke up in Olympus. It's like, you are Thor, the god of thunder. It's like, really? Yes. Cool. Why am I in Olympus if I'm a Nordic god? Shut up. Take your hammer. Okay. Wee! I don't know, dude. I'd be a terrible superhero, honestly. I'd be awful with magic powers and shit. You wouldn't want it. I don't know that I'd actually end up a hero, dude. I might end up a villain. Wee! Alan Reyes, you suck, dude. I'm just gonna let you know. I'm not even gonna ban you. I'm just gonna let you know you suck at what you do. What's your favorite Hot Pocket? I just like pepperoni pizza ones. You can miss me with all the other types of Hot Pockets. Hey, baby.
What's up, bro?
Doing this stupid shit that I do for some reason.
You want something cheery up, bro?
You have something cheery?
Even more discounted Easter candy.
Oh my god. Diabetes in a bag.
Right? Everything's fucking half off. It's great.
Sweet. Yay, diabetes.
I also got eggs for me.
Eggs?
These things look so good.
What do you mean eggs for you? I don't get.
This is look. This is my.
I don't get a Reese's
you
egg.
You don't like chocolate as much as you like fruit stuff, right?
That's true, but I do like a Reese's egg.
We can trade.
Damn.
Some Starburst for a Reese's egg.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing with these people?
I don't even know, man. I don't know what we're up to in here.
Sorry, I was gone so long.
No, that's okay. I'm gonna apologize. I'm glad you got your stuff done. Did you take your phone in?
Yeah, they had to order the parts, so I'm using my old phone until then.
Yeah.
I left my baby with them.
Well, at least they can fix it.
Yeah.
Was it your whole screen needed to be replaced? Fuck.
Yeah.
Ugh. Ouch.
I know. Sucks.
All right. Well, we're
Okay.
getting you a big giant rubber inflatable phone
my
holder.
God.
It's gonna look like arm floaties for your
Look,
phone.
my phones have always looked better than yours.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Mine's got a crack in it and shit, but I'm using mine because it's got the OtterBox on it. You got this like slimline crap. You're gonna have to get a nice
I got
box.
the best one that was on Amazon.
You're gonna have to get a nice box for your phone, one of the bigger, chunkier ones, so that when it hits the ground, it doesn't break.
The problem is the curved glass that the Note has, like the Samsung phones have, is that curved.
Then maybe you need to come over to the real phone
No,
side.
hell no.
Get an iPhone like the rest of us have.
No. I think this is the first time my phone's ever been like that bad. Like I've ever had a phone do that. What, baby boy? Come here. Want to be held? Okay. Big baby. Is this like a bigger storm than like the tornado storm we're supposed
I know.
to have?
We were under like 8 different like storm warnings last week at around this time, and it barely rained And this storm is actually way spookier than that one was. So stupid. Why would anyone buy something besides an iPhone? You got me, dude. You got me.
iPhones are for simpletons.
Yeah, iPhones are for simpletons who like their phone to do exactly what they want when they want it. They like their phone to be easy and simple to...
My phone does what I want when I want it, the way I want it to do, because I can customize it that way.
Yeah, mine just did it out of the box, homie.
No,
Out of the box.
I wanted mine to be customizable. That's why I got it. I like Samsung. I like Android.
Dinor, what do you want?
He's okay. He's okay.
You don't like the Thunder?
He's just happy to see you. That's okay.
Samsungs are for nerds, yeah. Android is the way to go. Yeah, if you're
Proud to be a
going
nerd.
straight to broken phone town.
I've seen way more broken iPhones than I have Android.
I've seen way more cracked iPhones working
Because all I
than I've
see
seen
is, like,
any other type of phone. I tell you what,
everyone
dude,
has an
everybody
iPhone,
that
is
took
an idiot.
everybody that
They
took
always drop
pictures
it.
at the fucking meetup had an iPhone. The iPhone had a crack in it and the phone was working. That's all I got to say about it.
My phone was working just fine.
It was until what?
Until, I don't know, it dropped flat on its face.
Until you dropped it. Until you
I've
dropped it.
I've dropped that thing a million times.
Until you dropped it.
Dropped it a million to my one.
iPhones are for boomers.
Yeah. I like that. That's true. Boomers and millennials. Millennials who claim to know technology, but then they really don't. That's who gets iPhones.
And boomers who are
boomers.
too old to know about technology.
Yes.
Right. Boomers, man. Dinor.
He's okay.
What's he doing?
You just wanna.
It's his problem. It's been jumping up on you. Can't navigate this goddamn Android. Yeah, dude, for sure. Dude, Ashley will hand me her phone sometimes and be like, look up this. And I look at it and I'm just like, where is it? She's got these tiny little icons and she's like, you have to press this button, swipe into 360 and then lift it up and then your app thing comes up. And then I'm like, so I'll do that. And then the app thing comes up, but everything's so tiny that I can't tell what anything is.
That's how I like it.
That's how she likes it, completely inscrutable, completely
I like it.
unusable.
I like it so that other people don't know how to get to all of my apps.
See? That's my thing. I don't care. That's why mine has a thumbprint thing. If they don't have my thumbprint, they can't get to my apps. Boom. Done deal.
Well, I mean, no, I have that too. I have.
Then why do you need to make your phone hard to use when you
not.
have to unlock it biometrically?
It's not, though. My phone is usable the way I like my phone to be usable.
Get out of here. The
If
iPhone,
you like your phone to be simple,
the iPhone is the
then,
future.
You know, whatever.
the iPhone is real.
Yeah, right.
I look at my iPhone and I see Twitter and I hit the Twitter thing and it opens. That's all I ask it to do.
I have Twitter right there on my home screen.
Yeah, but your home screen is filled with tiny inscrutable icons that you have to know which one to push to get Twitter.
You claim to have good vision, but
I
you
do have
can't
good
see
vision.
the icons on my phone.
I can see the
You're
icons, they
stupid.
just don't mean anything. They're tiny little bloops. They're like a little blue dot. I'm supposed to know what that is.
It's literally the Twitter bird.
The storm approaches, sitting intently as the tism encroaches, eyes staring ahead at the dopamine loop. He sits silently as his eye begin to droop. Falling asleep slowly, the rain coaxes. Now, sleep now, Paul, a storm approaches. That's not really trying to be a limerick. It was okay. Had a little bit of a meter problem going on in it, but it's a good piece of poetry. I like it. Bum, bum. Why do I have that song Young Girl in my head? Somebody said Young Girl in the chat. I've got that creepy song, Young Girl, doom, doom, get out of my mind. My love for you is way out of line. Better run, girl. You're much too young, girl. Do 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 do. Man, that song wouldn't fly today, would it? Somebody dropped that song today, that would be the end of their career. Ted Nugent song? I don't think so. Maybe he covered it, but it's a little pre Ted Nugent. The theme to Paul and Ashley's relationship, yeah. She was just 17. You know what I mean. Yeah. I got Maxwell's silver hammer. Ashley is a garbage pail kid. What? Garbage pail kids were all gross and have boogery and shit. I've never seen a booger in Ashley's nose one time. Paul, what do you think of Alien Covenant in comparison to the original series? Many people hate it, but I find it the most similar to the first movie. What? I don't like... Alien Covenant in comparison to the first film? It's nothing like the first film. Nothing like it. The only thing that makes it like the first film is that there's a xenomorph in it. There's literally not even a comparison. Apple's not better than Android. All your arguments are void. You're a boomer, but a good groomer, yet your streams are surely enjoyed. Wow. Maybe I just need to rename this channel like the Limerick Club, you know? And we'll just all just try and write limericks. The frogs are writing one right now. There once was a rat named Rat who rat. How do people enjoy life? You gotta let your hair down, man. That's the thing. I'm a pessimist, but I still enjoy life from time to time, man. I still have fun. I still joke and laugh and go places every once in a while and do things every once. You know what I mean? You gotta stop and smell them roses, man. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Sit on your porch, enjoy the rain or whatever. I like it. How do you enjoy life? You allow yourself to. Like, that's really, you're the gatekeeper of that. You know? If you want to turn everything into a negative, you know, bass-ackwards, shitty time, you can do it. You know, you have a limited amount of control over that. Or you can say, you know what, today's my day off or whatever. I'll let my hair down. I'll do something I enjoy. Give myself permission to kick my feet up for a little while. I'm going to let my pants down today. Good for you. Good for you, bro. Good for you.